All right, guys, to watch this video for Friday, March 8th. Before I get into the watch list, there is something I want to share. I have a WordPad document where I keep my watch list every night, and I also add the gappers that I'm going to watch in the pre-market, right? For potential gap and go plays, that sort of thing. So I keep it on just a WordPad, and I always override it with the latest list and so on. But on that, where it's right in front of my face every morning, and I screenshotted it and blew it up so you could see it, I have this right here. No bottom feeding, because every trading desk spiral I've ever gotten in over the years has started with me trying to get a reversal on an intraday basis, getting downside shape and trying to catch a reversal. Even if I just try 100 shares on that, I have the danger of trying to, if that fails and not hitting out of it because I've only got 100 shares. I've literally in the past, let a $200 loss on paper turn into a 5-figure loss. And it all starts with bottom feeding and something just keeps falling and I start averaging down. Now, I never average down, but I'm talking about in my past trading life, every disaster I've ever had started with bottom feeding. So that's why that's on there. It's a reminder. And then no pre-market trades. I do fairly well on plenty of pre-market trades, but I also have a fair amount of losses. And I honestly think if I added them all up, I'm probably net red trading pre-market. So that's why that note's there to remind me. So anyway, long story short, today I took a pre-market trade and, and it failed. And so I started the day down, for me, significantly, but not at my daily loss limit, but down a nice chunk, and it put me in a bad mood. And then because I'm already nicely red on the morning and then the market opens, I didn't pull the trigger on the first morning setup that I saw, which I'd already put out the parameters in chat. Those of you that are in our chat room know that, right? It was SEEL. So one of the rare straight out of the gate gap plays that we call. I'll bring that up real quick. And go to 2-minute candles. My idea was, and this is before the market opened, I said, I'm actually going to take this if it breaks 250, even if it happens in the opening minute. Now, you guys know I never trade in the opening minute. This was, I probably called 2 or 3 straight out of the gate gap plays a year. And it's still not straight out of the gate. We don't just guess. This had to take out 250. And it happened in the opening minute. And a bunch of people in chat killed it on this. And I didn't pull the trigger because I was already nicely red on the morning. And why was I nicely red on the morning? Because I took a pre-market trade. So it wasn't just the money that I lost on the pre-market trade, but it was the fact that, and I don't mind losing money if it's a trade that just doesn't work, but I do mind losing money if it's a trade that I broke my rules on. So I just literally started my day pissed off at myself. And then the point of this little mini rant here is to remind myself and to remind you guys, once you break a rule and then you're mad at yourself, it's not just that money that you lose, but it's this money, right? Because I'm already down on the day, I couldn't get myself to pull this trigger. If I pull the trigger here, within a minute, it's up at $3. I'm not only green on the day, but probably nicely green, probably daily gold, even with how much I was down in the pre-market to start the day. So I think there's a good lesson there. I hope you learn from it. And then, so I'm down, then the first trade I take doesn't work. It wasn't that clean. And before you know it, I'm down even more. And I spent the rest of the day fighting my way back. And so I was green on the day, but after being ugly red. And, I'm still proud of myself for fighting back or whatever, but I'm still, this would have been a great day. There were some great opportunities. And just that one split-second decision to take a pre-market trade kind of screwed up my whole day. So again, hopefully, hopefully there's a lesson there for you guys. Let's talk about what I'm going to be watching tomorrow. I always start off with the SPY. Oh, a couple other things I want to show you real quick. BPTH, I tweeted this, that I bought 100,000 shares right here, and I covered it all and then went short right here. I put that on Twitter, and I said something like, hey, Twitter, am I doing this right? Sorry I didn't post these in real time. And I actually got a response that said, did you mean $100,000 worth or 100,000 shares? So again, somebody told me once to use the hashtag, put hashtag sarcasm. And my argument is, if you have to hashtag sarcasm, it takes away from the sarcasm, right? If you have to explain it, the sarcasm is lost anyway. It's not funny anymore. So anyway, it was just a joke. I did not take any trades in BPTH. Yes, the corner of my eye, I saw this whole thing happening, and yes, I wanted to cry, but I never took a trade in it. I think Wayne got long right about here on this like flag break. I think he got long right there, which was a great trade. And he took it small and still made a killing on it. But anyway, long story short, this was just a joke. I did not do that. It's kind of making fun of people that post stuff after the fact on Twitter, right? If you didn't attend our Buying Pullbacks webinar, a little screenshot of somebody in chat today sent me a private message, and since it's private, I blacked their name out, or actually redded their name out. But thank you for the BZ, which is buy zone play strategy. They took ALT at 487, got filled at 489. I guess the limit, I don't know, after it pulled back. Anyway, they got filled at 489 and sold some in the 520s. Love to see that. And whether you're in our chat room or not, check out that free webinar. It goes into deep detail about how I buy pullbacks on an intraday basis. And I've gotten really, really good feedback from it, from members of our chat room and from non-members, right? And then one last thing I wanted to share, because this was better than any big green trade I've had all year, was this post by JS in the chat room, who I just recently found out was a woman. You know, with initials or names, especially initials, I don't know if it's a man or a woman. Just recently found out JS is a woman. All right, anyway, I love that post. It was very nice. The course saved my trading career. Will always be grateful. To me, that made my day. I could have had a nasty red day, and that still would have picked me right back up. And we really, really we did put that course together to help people. We really did, because I know what some people are teaching. They're teaching you to chase. They're teaching you to follow. They're teaching you all this just terrible stuff that you're never, ever going to become a consistently profitable trader if you land on the wrong person to start with. All right. And I even made a short clip, if you follow me on Twitter, of talking about my equity curve today, because that is the thing I'm most proud of as a trader. And I always say this: if I can't be steadily profitable, consistently profitable, I feel like a fraud. I feel like a fraud running a chat room. I feel like a fraud selling a course. If I have a red day, I feel like a fraud. I know it's a stupid thing, because you can't trade without having losses. But it's so important for me to be consistently profitable that I won't take those big risks. I won't put on a bunch of size so I can post a 5-figure or 6-figure day with a screenshot of my account on Twitter. Then a bunch of people will flock and buy the course, right? Look how much money this guy made. To me, the consistent, steady grind higher is what makes you a professional trader, and that's what I'm most proud of. I don't have a screenshot of it in front of me, and I've already put it on video today, so I don't want to drive it into the ground. But anyway, suffice it to say, kind of another ugly day in the market, another red day. We're hitting the 200-day now from above on the SPY. We'll see if that gives us some kind of bounce tomorrow. But there's plenty to watch. ALT, I really liked this one for a late day run, but it didn't trigger, and it ended up closing kind of weak. Because it topped out at 594 before settling in all the way down at 454. But because of the volume, I am going to watch it. ARQL, nice breakout today. I believe this was on earnings. Closing well off its highs, but the volume, strong close. Absolutely want to watch that for a follow-through day. TROV, big volume, closed at its highs. And then this is aggravating to me too. In after hours, this thing's trading, at least right now, at 475. I'm seeing so many of these things that close strong and then run higher in after hours. I wish I could figure out a way to take advantage of that, but I don't like the risk of holding into the close. The first time I do that, they'll announce a secondary offering right at the closing bell, which we've all seen that happen. Anyway, this absolutely needs to be watched tomorrow. TNXP closed at 214. In after hours, it's trading at 240. Nice volume today, so there might be a gap play on that one. We'll see. It might not be gapping by the morning, too. We don't know until we watch. Another aggravating one, SEEL. I had a nice afternoon trade in this one after missing that break of 250 on that straight out of the gate gap play, right? So I made a couple hundred on it or something. But anyway, another aggravating one because it closed at 304, and normally I'd say, well, let's watch it tomorrow. And after hours, right now it's trading at 457. So it's another one of those that's making these big after hours moves. And it's amazing because you see it's just kind of coiling all day. Then it actually breaks the high of day. and then right back into the range. And this is where I made my money. Got long here, sold here, back out the rest for a flat. But I think I made $200-300 on it. But then in after hours, it's trading at $4.57 right now. And I think it may have even gone up to over 5. So that's kind of aggravating to see this happen a lot. But it should be in play tomorrow. So we'll see. We'll see what it does. SAEX, nothing really fancy about this chart, but they had some kind of contract news, I think in Alaska, project news or something. And as I'm talking, it's trading at 565 in after hours. Back here, you had this massive run up to 660. And then you had this big volume day that it topped out at 573. So a couple potential catalysts on the chart, and we'll see how that does tomorrow. Potential gap play setup. We're going to watch that at the open. JMU is starting to curl back up. I like the looks of this one. Maybe we'll get some more volume and a move in that one again. RBZ closing out its high of the day. And another, no, this one didn't really run. It actually went up to maybe 190 in after hours, but as I'm talking, it's trading at 160. Certainly deserves to be watched. AWSM gapped up the other day, but put in a lower high the next day and a lower high today, but closed nicely above its open today. Maybe through 4 tomorrow, or at least through 410, which was today's high. We might test and retake these recent highs from the last couple days. Probably one of my favorite setups going into tomorrow. NH, big pop back here, a few days lower, and now a nice secondary pop. We'll see if it can follow through tomorrow. And then lastly, TGTX, which still is on bounce watch. You had this nice 2-day pop, and now a few days lower on declining volume. Still want to watch that one. No trades in it today, but it goes on bounce watch. Man, I've babbled long enough. We'll see everybody in chat tomorrow. Have a good night.